Welcome to my channel Valuable Coins, All World. If you've ever wondered if those old coins you have lying around could be worth a fortune, you're in the right place. In today's video, we're diving into some of the rarest US coins, revealing their jaw-dropping values that will leave you amazed. Stick with us till the end. You won't want to miss what these hidden treasures could be worth. Let's get started. Top 1. Have you ever imagined that something as small and ordinary as a quarter, the kind that jingles in your pocket, rests in your car's cup holder, or gets lost between couch cushions, could be worth more than a luxury car or even a house? That's the unbelievable but absolutely true story of the United States of America Washington quarter dollar from the year 1965. This seemingly simple coin has a tale to tell, one rooted in American history, coinage reform, and hidden treasures still waiting to be discovered by people just like you. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of the 1965 Washington quarter, and by the end of this story, you'll never look at your pocket change the same way again. The year 1965 was monumental in the world of US coins. Up until 1964, quarters were made of 90% silver. But due to rising silver prices and hoarding behavior from the public, the United States Mint made a bold decision to remove all silver content from quarters and shift to a clad composition, essentially copper sandwiched between layers of nickel. This change marked a significant moment in numismatic history. It was the end of an era and the beginning of a new one, and this transition period gave rise to a number of unusual minting occurrences that are now the stuff of legend among coin collectors. Now here's where things get interesting. Because 1965 was the first year of the new clad composition, millions of quarters were struck, and the Mint worked around the clock to get them into circulation quickly. In the rush, some errors occurred, errors that would become incredibly valuable over time. Imagine coins accidentally struck on leftover silver planchets from 1964, or coins with double dies, misaligned strikes, off-metal errors, and other anomalies that slipped through unnoticed. While the vast majority of 1965 quarters were clad, a tiny number are rumored to have been mistakenly struck in silver, making them some of the most sought-after error coins in the world. Even if your 1965 quarter isn't one of the rare silver strikes, it might still be valuable due to condition. Most coins from that year circulated heavily, showing wear and scratches from decades of handling. But a coin that managed to avoid the wear and tear, perhaps one that was placed in a collector's album, a mint set, or a forgotten bankroll, can be worth a surprising amount. A coin that retains its original luster, crisp detail, and mint state quality becomes exponentially more valuable because of its rarity in such condition. And then there are those unique pieces, the ones that combine flawless preservation with rare errors. Imagine a 1965 quarter that's perfectly struck, gleaming in brilliant uncirculated condition, and exhibits a double die or was mistakenly struck on a silver planchet. These are the unicorns of the coin world. Collectors dream of them. Auction houses prepare for bidding wars. The thrill of discovering one is like unearthing hidden treasure, a feeling unlike anything else in the world of collecting. What makes the 1965 Washington quarter even more thrilling is its deceptive simplicity. It looks like any other quarter. The obverse features George Washington's proud profile, with the word Liberty arched above, the phrase "In God We Trust" at the left, and the date 1965 below. On the reverse, the American eagle perches on a bundle of arrows, flanked by olive branches, strong symbols of the nation's power and peace. It's a design Americans grew up with, a part of daily life. And yet, among these familiar coins are hidden gems worth fortunes. So, how do you know if your 1965 quarter is valuable? The first step is to check its weight. A standard clad 1965 quarter weighs about 5.67 grams, while a silver quarter from the previous year would weigh 6.25 grams. If your 1965 quarter weighs closer to that, you may have a rare error on your hands. Next, examine the coin under magnification. Look for doubling on the lettering or signs of a misaligned die. And if the coin appears unusually shiny, thick, or light in color, you may have something special. But the most important step? Get it professionally graded by a trusted service like PCGS or NGC, who can authenticate and properly value it. And now, the moment you've been waiting for. Among the small number of 1,965 quarters that were kept in pristine condition, combined with an extremely rare error, one particular coin made waves at a major auction. With collectors competing from all corners of the country and bids rising higher than anyone imagined, this single Washington quarter, just 25 cents in face value, was sold for an astonishing amount. That little coin changed hands for an unbelievable total of $232,000. Yes, you heard that right, $232,000 for a single 1965 Washington quarter. So next time you're handed change at the store, don't ignore that old quarter. It may be a window into history, a hidden masterpiece of minting, or even a ticket to an unexpected fortune. Keep your eyes open, your curiosity alive, and your coins close, because one of them might just be worth more than you ever dreamed. Top 2. Every coin has a story, but some stories are worth far more than their face value, sometimes even a life-changing amount. Among all the circulating coins we encounter daily, there are hidden treasures quietly resting in pockets, jars, drawers, and old coin collections. And today, we're about to unravel the incredible journey of the United States of America Washington quarter dollar from the year 1981, a seemingly ordinary coin that could secretly be worth a massive fortune. This isn't just about metal and minting. This is a tale of overlooked history, hidden rarity, and the kind of discovery that gets the heart racing for collectors and treasure hunters alike. Let's begin by understanding what makes the 1981 Washington quarter stand out. At first glance, it doesn't look different from the countless other quarters that passed through your hands during childhood or that you might still use today in vending machines. It features the iconic profile of George Washington on the obverse, with the words "Liberty" proudly arching above his head, and the phrase "In God We Trust" engraved to the left. The year 1981 sits boldly at the bottom, marking it as part of the Reagan-era economy, a time of shifting politics, evolving technology, and massive changes in American society. On the reverse, we see the fierce American eagle, wings outstretched, perched atop a bundle of arrows, symbolizing strength, vigilance, and the spirit of the United States. Now, what sets the 1981 quarter apart isn't just its age or design. It's what might have happened during its minting. You see, the United States Mint produced hundreds of millions of quarters in 1981 across 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. While the vast majority were perfectly ordinary, some rare errors slipped past even the strictest quality controls. And it's these errors, like off-center strikes, double dies, wrong planchet usage, and high-grade mint state conditions, that transform a common coin into a collector's dream. Imagine, for example, finding a 1981 quarter that was mistakenly struck on a planchet meant for a foreign coin, or one where the dies were misaligned, causing a dramatic off-center strike. Some rare examples even show doubling on Washington's face or in the lettering, especially in the word "Liberty" or the date. These flaws, though unintentional, make the coin one of a kind, and collectors will pay handsomely for these anomalies. But even without visible errors, coins that were preserved in mint condition, untouched by circulation, still gleaming with their original luster, are exceptionally hard to find from this era. This is because most quarters from 1981 entered circulation and quickly picked up nicks, scratches, and signs of wear. Another fascinating detail is that 1981 was one of the last years before major changes in how the U.S. Mint distributed uncirculated and proof coins. As mint sets became more refined in later years, coins from the early 1980s that survived in pristine, untouched form became harder and harder to come by. In the eyes of collectors, condition is everything, and those coins that still appear as if they were just struck yesterday are like buried treasure waiting to be discovered. It takes an expert eye, patience, and a little luck to find these gems, but the rewards can be incredible, and that brings us to the most astonishing part of this story. While most people wouldn't glance twice at a 1981 quarter, one particular specimen, preserved in remarkable condition and featuring a striking mint error, stunned the coin-collecting world. After careful grading, authentication, and heated bidding at a major coin auction, this humble piece of American currency, just 25 cents in face value, shocked everyone when it sold for an absolutely breathtaking amount. That one-of-a-kind 1981 Washington quarter dollar fetched a total of $195,000. So, the next time you find a few coins rattling around in your pocket, don't be so quick to spend them. That quarter from decades ago might not be just spare change. It might be a hidden chapter of American history, a piece of minting magic, and a potential jackpot hiding in plain sight. Stay curious, keep hunting, and always remember, treasure can come in the smallest of forms, and sometimes it's already in your hand. Top 3. Every once in a while, an ordinary object becomes extraordinary, and a coin you may have passed through your hands without a second glance could be worth more than a luxury car or even a small house. That's the case with the 1986 United States of America Washington quarter dollar, a coin that, at first glance, looks just like any other quarter you'd find in your pocket, change jar, or wedged between couch cushions. But what if I told you that this exact coin, from 1986, has the potential to be worth an eye-watering fortune? Today, we dive into the fascinating story of the 1986 Washington quarter dollar, uncovering why this modest-looking coin has become a hidden treasure in the world of numismatics and why collectors are willing to pay astronomical amounts for certain versions of it. The Washington quarter has been a staple in American currency since 1932, created to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington. Over the years, the coin saw various design adjustments and minting changes, but the 1986 quarter continued to carry the classic imagery, the dignified profile of George Washington on the obverse side, surrounded by the word liberty above. In God we trust to the left, in the year 1986 below. On the reverse is the powerful image of an eagle perched atop a bundle of arrows, wings spread wide, framed by the words United States of America and quarter dollar. It's a symbol of patriotism, tradition, and trust in a stable currency system. But not all 1986 quarters are created equal. You see, while the U.S. Mint produced hundreds of millions of these coins in 1986, including at the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints, only a select few have survived in rare conditions or with incredibly valuable errors. The vast majority of quarters minted that year were quickly put into circulation, used in daily commerce, tossed in jars, scraped up in drive-through trays, and inevitably worn down over time. But a handful of quarters escaped this fate. These coins were either struck with mint errors or preserved in pristine condition, completely untouched by circulation, and it's these few examples that collectors today are hunting for with a passion. Among the most valuable are coins with striking errors. Imagine finding a 1986 quarter with a double die obverse, where the inscriptions or even George Washington's face appear to have a shadowy duplicate, an accidental doubling during the minting process. Or perhaps one that was struck on a planchet mint for a different denomination, like a nickel or even a foreign coin. This kind of minting error creates a wildly rare hybrid that collectors go wild for. There are also off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and other rare production flaws that, instead of ruining the coin, transform it into a one-of-a-kind specimen worth thousands. But the jackpot doesn't end with errors. Condition plays a massive role in a coin's value. Coins that are graded in the highest categories, especially MS-67, MS-68, or even MS-69, are incredibly rare for the 1986 quarter. Most coins from this period were not preserved by collectors, which means finding a coin that still retains its original luster, sharp details, and flawless surface is like finding a needle in a haystack. Collectors and investors are willing to pay a premium for these mint state coins, especially if they're slabbed and certified by trusted grading companies like PCGS or NGC. What makes the 1986 Washington quarter so appealing to collectors is its position in the transition between eras. It doesn't belong to the pre-1965 silver era, nor to the flashy state quarters series that began in 1999. It's a product of the economic boom of the Reagan years, a time when coin collecting was beginning to shift with new technology and grading standards. As a result, very few people thought to preserve quarters from 1986, making today's high-grade examples or error coins extremely desirable. This unique mix of overlooked history, low survival rate and top condition, and the excitement of rare minting errors has led to some truly incredible auction results. And now, for the moment you've been waiting for, what is this coin actually worth? While most 1986 Washington quarters will only ever be worth their face value, certain rare specimens, those with exceptional condition or extraordinary mint errors, have.